Well, welcome back to Slowpoke Racing, everybody, and we're with the Ultimate Racing League for round 5 of their GT3 Championship, which is run on a Wednesday night. We are at, as I said already, round 5. We're at round 5 already, halfway through. This season really does seem to be going very quickly. We're at Road Atlanta, but a little bit more about the track in a minute. First of all, what I want to do, a couple of things actually. I do want to say a massive thank you to our sponsors, and that's EAC, that's Eldridge Air Conditioning. Thank you very much to those guys for helping us get these races to you each week. I also want to say a big thank you to Nath for saving and sharing the replays. I do say it quite a lot, but it is important. If the guys don't save and share, then obviously we can't bring these races to you. So thank you very much to Nath. Now, second of all, what I want to do is just have a quick look at the league as it stands at the minute. I'm only going to do the top 5, but it's already shaping up to be a closely contested competition. So, out in front at the minute is Wadru on 120 points. He's just ahead of Neil Farmack in second on 111 points. In third is Unforgiven on 105 points. Fourth is Grasshopper on 95 points. And fifth is Stormfly. Now, Stormfly, I would have had him down as this season's champion, but he's struggling of late in fifth on 91 points. Still plenty of racing ahead of us, though. Excuse me. So that's your top 5 then. So Wadru leading the pack with Neil Farmack, Unforgiven, Grasshopper and Stormfly hot on his heels. So that's the league. So what we're going to do now, the guys have been out and done a bit of qualifying for the race 1. 2 races. Race 1 is done on qualifying. Race 2, the grid is set up randomly, but we'll talk about race 2 when we get to race 2, shall we? So let's have a look. And this time I thought we'd have a quick grid walk, to be fair, to have another look at the cars. Now, the guys have got a choice of 2 cars. They picked 2 GT3 cars at the beginning of the season, and they can use either one of them in any of the races. They may just use the one car all season. They may switch between the 2. But it is their choice. So I thought we'd just have a bit of a walk down the grid and have a look and see what the cars look like, shall we? And looking good on pole position is Stormfly. Now, excuse me. Well, this is actually, believe it or not, it is only Stormfly's second appearance on pole. So it'd be interesting to see what he can do while he's out there in front. All on the medium tyres as well. So he's in well, it looks like well, it says Phillips all over it, but it looks like the old Adidas stripes on there, doesn't it? Yeah, that's Stormfly. Still got the Derby on there. Need to get rid of that. He's in pole position. Then we've got Unforgiven in second. No, Unforgiven. He's only had 2 appearances on the podiums. He's not been on pole yet, but he is up there in third position. He's picked up some very steady points throughout the season. So he's having a good season, is Unforgiven. And that is a fantastic looking car, isn't it? I am loving the black and green. Who doesn't like a bit of black and green with a splash of white in there? Fantastic looking car there for Unforgiven in second. Just behind him in the Subaru is Neil Farmack sitting in third. Now, I thought it was is it the Pennzoil at the beginning, but it's not. It's Shell and all sorts in there, but looking fine anyway is Neil Farmack in the Subaru. Just behind him in the NSX, and Grasshopper does like this NSX. I don't think I've seen him use anything else, to be fair. But another splendid looking car. That is Grasshopper in fourth. In fifth in the Porsche. Who we got in fifth? It's Matty Older. Just all plain white. Why not? Keep it nice and simple. Let your racing do the talking. That's the way to go, Matty Older. He's in sixth. In seventh, well, that just tells me then that there is a bit of a problem with liveries. Unfortunately, it's so bloody annoying when it happens, unless they've just picked the same one. Although I thought the Porsche livery was a bit different to that. Maybe they've just picked the same one. Who knows? But that's T. Bennett in seventh. In eighth, in the Peugeot, the RCZ, we have Dirk, I think it is. No, it's not. It's Nath. Sorry, apologies. It's Nath. Oh, Bennett, is it Bennett? Oh, I've got myself all lost now. Yeah, Bennett is in seventh. Sorry, Bennett. Yeah, it says so all over the car, doesn't it? What am I on about? So, Bennett in the RCZ in seventh. In eighth is Nath in the Napa AMG. and fantastic bit of work on that car as well. So if Nath's done that, well done to him. So that's Nath in 8th. Just behind him is Dirk. Now I know his livery's not come through because that is usually a police car, so apologies for that. Well, upset a few, hasn't it, this week? 10th, I could reset the lobby, but no, we'll keep going. 10th is Whitey. I actually commentated on this last week. Fantastic livery on this Lamborghini. Absolutely loving that. Great work there. What's that say? Drunk driver in car. Well, let's hope not. We do not condone drink driving, children. I've got myself lost now. That's Whitey, wasn't it? 11th is Scooby in the very shiny Coca-Cola GTR. So that is Scooby in 11th. In 12th, we've got Willard. And I think he did use this car last week, the BMW. And a splendid looking car it is as well. So that is Willard in 12th. Then in 13th, we have got Method, or Method 13 JR. I don't know if that stands for Junior. I don't know. He is also in an NSX. Well, I love the URL there. The crackle on the URL, fantastic that is. I might have to try and search that decal and pinch that myself. I'm loving that. Great looking car as well, actually. And then on 14th we have Bindit in a McLaren. Killed by death, Bindit. What's all this say on here then? What we need is more cowbell, not just whistling Dixie. Wow. There's some stickers on that car. There's some extra weight been added to this McLaren, isn't there? You've got to have a few kilos on there just for stickers, but fantastic looking car all the same. So there we have it. That's the grid lineup. So if I can get out of this and onto the normal view, there we go. So there are the cars. That's the lineup. That's the grid. We've got 5 lights on, so should we get this race underway and see how we get on? Now, as I've said, we are at Road Atlanta. 2.5 miles, 12 turns ahead of us, and it does include the famous downhill S's. Now this track actually opened in 1970, and it's classed as a road track, as I've said. Excuse me. It is in Atlanta, just north of Braselton, in Georgia. So I've renamed a couple of the turns as well, actually. I'm not sure if they've got names, but I have actually named some of them now. I've named them after the drivers, so if your name's not on here, don't worry, there will be other tracks where I will be naming corners after drivers. Oh, and we've already got a spinner, and it's Neil Farmack. Oh no, let's have a look. Where is he? Why can I not find him? Neil Farmack at turn 5. We'll go through these turns in a minute. At turn 5, just at the bottom of the S's. Now, what happened to Neil Farmack? Did he get onto the grass? Because this is a very, very dangerous turn, this. Wow, do you know what? I don't see what he did wrong there, to be honest. Let's have another look. Now, this is into the S's, and you can see why it's called the S's. Great downhill shot there as we're following the car in this drone cam. Now then, did he go onto the grass or the gravel? Or maybe just a bit too much power, but either way, he's had a good old kiss with Barry R, and that has dropped him right to the bottom of the pack as he just waits for the rest of the guys to go through. Very sensible return back onto the track from Neil Farmack. Could have just pulled straight across, couldn't he, and took everybody out, but well done to Neil for not causing even more chaos. But that has put him down in 14th. Back up to the top then, Stormfly takes us on to what is now called the Woodrow Straight. It is 0.79 miles straight. Past this is where everybody does all the camping. You can see them all there out there on the right and the left. They park the big vans up. Unforgiven put him under all sorts of pressure as they go into the Farmack chicane, up the hill and then into Durg Corner at turn 11 and 12, then back onto the straight. And it is still Stormfly fighting off Unforgiven. In fact, let's jump on board with Unforgiven now as we come down towards turn 1, which we've named Bennett's Bend. A touch of the brakes, then back onto the power again to bring this car around this tight right-hander into a left, and then we start off into the S's, which I've renamed the Unforgiven S's, and they are unforgiving as well if you get them wrong. But we are on board with Unforgiven, taking as much as he can as far as Liberties goes with it. Oh yeah, and that was where Neil Farmack came undone, but these guys making it look very easy. Then up into Stormfly Curve at turn 6 and 7, and then back round onto the Wadru Straight. So let's just have a look, see where everybody else is. Grasshopper up into third. He's gained a place after Neil Farmack came off at turn 5 right on lap 1. Wadru in 4th. Wadru in a Porsche. Did I miss Wadru out? I do apologise. I think I did miss Wadru out, didn't I, on the grid walk? I'm really sorry about that, Wadru. But Wadru is in 4th, and that is definitely not his livery, because it's usually like a purple and pink. Bennett sitting in 5th. Nath in 6th in the AMG. Then we've got Derg having a bit of a fight with Willard, both in the BMW, as Willard tries to tuck right underneath Derg. As we go through Derg corner, no, it's not. Yes, it is. It is Derg corner. What am I on? I've got myself all lost then. Into turn 1 at Bennett's Bend then, and it is still Derg just holding Willard off, but these two having a fantastic battle as they head towards Unforgiven S's. It is still Derg in 7th. I've just noticed somebody up ahead. Yeah, Nath has got a half-second penalty, so that's going to encourage Derg to put his foot down a little bit if he can get a bit closer to Nath. Then we've got Derg, as I say, Willard in 8th. Scooby down in 9th with Matty Older all over the back of him. In fact, we'll jump on board with Matty Older, shall we, as we come up towards Stormfly Curve at turn 6 and 7. You just treat this one really as one big hairpin bend. A touch of the brakes, then back on the power as early as you can, trying to get a good exit. Scooby just picking up a little bit of dirt there on the exit, which has allowed Matty to get a little bit closer. Now with the slipstream kicking in as well, Matty should be able to get right up underneath Scooby there. Have a good old sniff around the rear end before he decides to pull out. Now then, is Scooby going to defend it? Doesn't look like he is, as Matty has a bit of a look, didn't he? Just didn't quite fancy it. I thought he might have made the move a little bit earlier than that, but decided against it. Quick look behind, and we've got nobody behind at the minute. The gap is absolutely enormous back to Method. So we'll have a look and see what's happening there as Matty and Scooby carry on fighting. In fact, we're just going to stick with them as they go into turn 1 at Bennett's Bend, just to see if Matty can get the job done before they go into the S's. It doesn't look like he's interested, does he, at the minute? So we'll see what's happening elsewhere. Method in 11th. He must have had a bit of a moment, because there is a bit of a gap there back between himself and Matty. Then we've got Neil Farmack. Well, he's just trying to recover his race, isn't he, after that spill. Managed to get himself back up into 12th. He did go down to 14th, but he's up into 12th. Then we've got Bindit, who, well, probably did bin it, actually, because there is quite a big gap between himself and Neil Farmack. So Bindit just really using this as a bit of a practice lap, a practice race, I think, getting ready for race 2. And Whitey down in 14th definitely has had a bit of a moment, I'm sure, because that gap is enormous between himself and Bindit. And then we've got Bindit to Neil Farmack, so it's a big ask now for Whitey to catch up to the rest of the pack, but he's going to give it a go, I'm sure. So again, just get a feel for the track, use it a bit of a practice, and come back fighting in race 2. But we'll go back up to the top then, as Stormfly just opening up a very slight gap back to Unforgiven, but Unforgiven still staying there. So the AMGs do look very strong around this Georgia track. Unforgiven still sitting there in 2nd, trying to put the pressure on. Wadru has made his way up into 3rd. Now he's concentrating on trying to get onto the back of Unforgiven, with Grasshopper sitting in 4th, who is trying to just keep up with Wadru. Grasshopper just had he's had some decent results, hasn't he, just lately as well, which has put him 4th in the league table. I've said it many times as well, he seems to look after his tyres really well, and I'd love to know how he does it. He seems to push as hard as everybody else, he's as quick as everybody else, he just seems to look after his tyres better. So maybe there's a secret there that Grasshopper's not telling us. Then we've got Bennett in 5th in the Peugeot RCZ. Bit of a surprise car, this one. It was seemed to be a bit of a favourite a few seasons ago on the dailies, if I remember rightly, but it just gets overlooked. We don't tend to see it on track that often. Sorry to hear that. Did a quick swig of juice. I've got this new bottle with a like a flip up lid thing that you. So Bennett in 5th in the Peugeot, then Dirk in 6th. Shame about the livery, because he does have a fantastic police car livery. Hopefully it'll come through for race 2. I suppose I should have reset the grid, shouldn't I? But I couldn't be bothered. A bit pushed for time today. But Dirk sitting there in 6th. He can see Bennett up ahead. He has managed to open up a gap now back to Willard. So whether Willard has had a mistake, oh, and I'm saying, oh dear me, Bennett has gone off. What has happened to Bennett? He was doing so well. And into the unforgiven S's then. Well, we're just entering the S's now. Now is this why they're unforgiven, or was it at the bottom at turn 5 that it caught him out? Yeah, he did exactly the same as Neil Farmer. And that is a horrible, horrible turn. If you get on the power just that little bit too early, that is the result. And a big old kiss with Barry R for Bennett, which is unfortunate. He was having a decent race up to that point, but has now dropped himself down to 10th and soon into the clutches of Method, who is fast approaching in that NSX now. Then if Method can get a good exit out of Stormfly Curve at turn 7, then he is definitely going to be putting the pressure on Bennett. Neil Farmack's in there as well in 12, so this could really hot up. In fact, we'll jump on board with Neil Farmack so we can get a good old view of what's happening up in front. Now then, has that Subaru got the power to keep up with the NSX and the Peugeot? And it does look like Neil Farmack is slipping back, so the slipstream really not helping him much. As we go into the Farmack chicane, Method goes through, and Neil Farmack, he had a good old look up the inside, didn't he, of Bennett, but thought better of it. That could have been disastrous for everybody concerned there. But Neil Farmack just held back. Very sensible driving from Neil. Lives to fight another day as Method goes through into 10th. Bennett in 11th, and Neil Farmack now pushing to catch back up to Bennett. I'm sure his plan will be to get through the S's and maybe make the pass on the short straight down towards Stormfly Curve. Failing that, if he can get close enough to Bennett, get a good exit out of turn 7, and that's where he'll be making the move. This is probably what's going through Neil's mind. At the minute, he's not close enough to get the move done before they get to turn 6. Go through turn 6, as I say, rename this one Stormfly Curve. Oh, as Method gets it all sorts of wrong. Yes, we will go back and have a look at that if I can sort the camera out. So let's just see what... well, I've gone back too far now, haven't I? What a clown. Never mind. Method then, he's having a good race. He's got by Bennett into turn 6. Now then, it's turn 7 that caught him out. Did he just go? Oh no, he got his back wheels onto the grass before he even made turn 7. And look at the result here, it's just slung him right across the track. And Bennett and Neil Farmack say thank you very much, and they go flying through. Now a quick look behind us to see where Bindit is, but he's a long way off, so Method down into 12th. He'll be cussing and cursing, I'm sure. Bindit down in 13th. Oh, he's picked up half a second penalty. Really not enjoying this race. I think there's just too many stickers on that car. It's just weighing it down. It looks pretty good, but I think the weight is just too much for these tight turns. So as Bindit approaches the penalty zone, serves his penalty, and back up to full pace again, but having a very lonely race at the minute for Bindit. Same with YT as well in the Lamborghini, looking fantastic, but it is a bit of a lonely race for him down in 14th. He can just try and concentrate and catch up to Bindit. Maybe have a bit of a race towards the end of this round, this particular race 1. We've still got 15 minutes to go, so still enough time for YT to catch up. So if we go back up to the top, it is still Stormfly, started on pole, and well, literally has not looked back. I'm sure he's not even looked in his mirror. He doesn't care who's behind him. He's just looking straight ahead like a robot, and he is going for it. The gap is there as well back to Unforgiven, but Unforgiven are having a fantastic first race here in Atlanta. Still in second, Wadrow doing everything he can to catch him up, but at the minute the gap is a good few seconds, so Wadrow just got to keep pushing. Let's have a look at the lap time, shall we? Now Stormfly has the fastest lap of 1:19.6. He got that on lap 5. Then we've got Unforgiven. His fastest is 1:19.7, so only 2/10 off of Stormfly's 1/10 off of Stormfly's fastest. And then Wadrow, he's got a 1:19.9, so he's only 3/10 off, so really not a lot between these top three. Grasshopper back in 4th. His fastest is a 1:20, so well, he's about 4/10 off of Stormfly, so it is still very tight up at the top. But at the minute, it is Stormfly, Unforgiven and Wadrow that are trying to pull away. You can just see Grasshopper in the background, and Derg having a fantastic outing. He's moved up into 5th. Derg started down in 9th, so has already made up 4 places. Yes, there has been some offs, but he's took full advantage, kept it clean, kept it on the tarmac, and will soon be chasing Grasshopper, I'm sure, as they come up towards Derg's corner, named after Derg himself. Around turns 11 and 12, back onto the straight, and then down towards Bennett's Bend at turn 1. And you can just see Grasshopper up ahead, so Derg will be doing everything he can to try and catch up to the back of Grasshopper. Willard in 6, not under any pressure at the minute. He's not totally on his own. He has got Nath just sitting behind him, but the pressure's not really been put on for Willard at the minute. Nath in 7th then in another AMG. As we've seen with Stormfly and Unforgiven, they do seem to be doing quite well around this track. Then we've got Scooby in 8th. He's got a right handful at the minute with Matty Older all over the back of him. So Scooby in 8th, but Matty really putting the pressure on as they come down towards turn 6 and then into turn 7, and Matty looking to get a decent exit out of here so that he can get into the slipstream of Scooby. Now then, can that Porsche keep up with the GTR? This is the question. The slipstream will help. You can see Scooby trying to break the slip there as he moves from one side of the track to the other. It doesn't look like the Porsche is getting any closer to Scooby, and he's not going to get it done as they hit Farmac chicane. It is still Scooby in 8th, Matty Older in 9th. Hopefully the liveries will sort themselves out. You'd have thought it would have just put the plain Porsche livery on, wouldn't you? But no, decided to just go plain white. It looks quite cool actually in just one colour, but never mind, it's my opinion. As Matty tries to apply the pressure to Scooby, then it just like Scooby's just opening up a couple of car lengths gap there between the two of them. So Matty just needs to push just a little bit harder to get back on to Scooby. Then we've got Bennett down in 10th after his incident a few laps ago, struggling to get back into this. Neil Farmac in 11th. Well, as I said before, it's a big ask for Neil Farmac to get himself back into this race after he came off, well, very first lap, wasn't it, at turn 5. And I'm not so sure the Subaru's got the pace to keep up with some of the cars up ahead of him. But then again, if anybody can get that car to work, it'll be Neil Farmac. Then we've got Method in 12th still. Well, he's all on his own now, isn't he? Just concentrate on practicing. The only American driver we've got on track at the minute, so it's fantastic to have him with us. He must be staying up very, very late, or he's got up very, very early to take part in this race, so we really do appreciate him doing that. YT in 13th, with Bindit in 14th with another penalty hovering above his car. Does look good, that car. As I say, I've said it, there's too many stickers on it, but it does look good. So back out in front then, Stormfly. Has he managed to shake Unforgiven? No, he hasn't. Unforgiven is sticking with him and having a fantastic race at the minute is Unforgiven, as is Stormfly. Stormfly just took off right from the beginning, started on pole, and literally has not looked back. And he's looking comfortable at the minute, is Stormfly. He's just got to keep it on the grey stuff. So is Unforgiven. He's just got to keep it on the tarmac. And Wadru, well, he's really got to push hard. In fact, I think the gap is closing very, very slightly, but is it enough to take that second podium spot away from Unforgiven? We still have about 9 minutes of this race to go, so there is time for Wadru, but he really does need to start pushing now. And you can see he's got his last lap was a 19.7. Let's have a look what Unforgiven's doing. Well, his last couple of laps have been in the 20s, so Wadru is going slightly quicker. I need another quick swig of drink. Oh, that's a bit better. So Wadru, yeah, he's going slightly quicker, so he is gaining on Unforgiven, but has he got enough time? 8.5 minutes to go in race 1. Grasshopper in 4th, Derg in 5th. Now, we did say earlier, didn't we, that Derg was going to be onto the back of Grasshopper very soon, and look at him now. He's almost within sniffing range of the rear end of Grasshopper's NSX as they come up towards Stormfly Curve, and Derg seems to be getting closer and closer. So BMW against NSX. Maybe the BMW has got one too many more beans than the NSX into the slipstream. Derg goes. We're just going to stay with Derg. No, we're not. We're going to jump on board with him. All these guys fitted with little cameras in the helmets, so we can see what they see. Derg has got an even better view, because I do believe he uses VR as well, so he's got an even better view than we have. And very close, he is right up the chuff of Grasshopper as we go over the brow of the hill at Farmac Chicane and then into Derg's corner. Power down all the way towards turn 1 at Bennett's Bend. Back on the power again, and this is where the BMW seems to make up the ground on the NSX. It does seem a little bit tighter in the turns into Unforgiven S's. Oh, Grasshopper picking up quite a lot of grass, literally living up to his name there. Now the pressure's been applied by Derg. A quick look behind and absolutely nothing behind us, so he's not going to worry about anything overtaking him, so he can concentrate fully on the back end of Grasshopper into Stormfly Curve at turn 6, then into turn 7. A good exit is what Derg needs from here. Grasshopper keeping it nice and tight. Now let's just see if the BMW can catch up to the NSX. I think he is in the slipstream. I think you've got to be within 0.8 of a second to the car in front to get into the slipstream. You can see Grasshopper making a bit of a defensive move. He's trying to make that NSX as wide as he possibly can in the middle of the track. He's got every right to do that, and just cannot find a way by at the minute. So we're going to leave these two to battle away. We're going to have a look and see what's happening with Willard. Sitting in 6th, these will be some decent points for him if he can stay there. Just in the background, we've got Nath in the other AMG in the Napa livery. So Nath doing everything he can to catch up. He did a 1:20.5 his last lap. Willard is doing a 1:20.7, so Nath just a couple of tenths quicker than Willard on the last lap. So is catching very, very slowly. We are approaching the last 5 minutes though, so if Nath wants to get 6, he needs to step on that gas just that little bit more. Scooby in 8th. Neil Farmac just behind him in 9th. Decent recovery race from Neil Farmac. He ended up in 14th, didn't he, at the end of turn 5 on lap 1. Oh no, we've got a yellow flag. Why have we got a... Oh, it's binned it. Again, Binned it has binned it. Although I think he's now being lapped, so he's probably going to just stay in. Yeah, he's got the blue flag. So Binned it just trying to get out of the way, I think, there. That's what the yellow flag was all about. I think he's just trying to avoid the other drivers so he doesn't get in their way. Great shot there of the cars coming down Wadru Straight. As we see Whitey in 13th, then we've got Method in 12th. So we're going to go back up and have a quick look and see what's happening with Stormfly and Unforgiven. And Stormfly does look like he's starting to just edge away from Unforgiven. So starting to put the pedal down now is Stormfly. He can sense a victory. He doesn't want to leave anything to chance. He's not taking it easy. Unforgiven in second. Now then, Wadru does look to be getting closer and closer to Unforgiven, so Unforgiven needs to really concentrate. We don't want any silly mistakes from him as he comes out of turn 7 at Stormfly Curve onto Wadru straight. Unforgiven just needs to keep it together, although Wadru is catching. Wadru, his last lap was a 120.3, Unforgiven was a 121, so I think Unforgiven is trying to be a bit too cautious, to be fair. It's Stormfly's getting away from him, and Unforgiven's probably thinking, well, I'm going to let him go, I'm not going to take first, because it's too much to catch up to Stormfly, unless Stormfly makes a mistake, of course. But Unforgiven probably settling for second, but he's just being a little bit too cautious, I think. That's more like it, a 119.8 on lap 16, so that's more like it from Unforgiven. Wadru, a 119.9. It's only 1/10 between the two of them. This is going to be a great finish between these two, as long as hey, Unforgiven can keep it on the tarmac. Wadru is going to keep pushing. Could make a mistake though. This is the problem when you are pushing so hard. There could be a mistake, and you could end up losing that podium spot. So what does Wadru do now? Does he settle for third and hope that Unforgiven makes a mistake, or does he push and hope you don't make a mistake yourself? Derg in fourth. I don't think he's going to get any closer. He's not going to get himself on the podium, but a fantastic result nevertheless for Derg sitting in fourth. Then we've got Grasshopper in fifth. So apologies we missed that overtake, because it was Grasshopper in fourth, wasn't it? But Derg's managed to get the move done, so I'm sorry we missed that. Then we've got Willard in sixth, Nath getting ever closer to him, and we're just going to follow these two down the Wadru straight down towards Farmac Chicane, just to see if Nath can get the move done. I'm not so sure he's close enough actually. No, he's not going to get that done at the chicane, but still getting closer and closer to Willard. Then we've got Neil Farmac in 8th, Scooby in 9th, Bennett 10th, Matty Older in 11th, Method in 12th, Whitey 13th, and Bindit in 14th. Back up to the top then, and this is looking like the podium and how it's going to finish. You can see the fuel light starting to flash now for Stormfly, so he's definitely not been sparing the horses. Same with Unforgiven. In fact, Unforgiven does look like he's going to, well, we've got about a minute and a half to go, so this is going to be at least one more lap after this. And Unforgiven, the fuel is not looking great for him. Wadru, he's got a lot more fuel. He's definitely got enough to get him to the end of the race. I think Unforgiven is going to have to do a bit of fuel saving. Now then, that is going to compromise his lap times, which means that Wadru, who has got more fuel than Unforgiven, can actually push a bit harder. This is going to be interesting on the last lap. So Stormfly also, I think he's going to have to start backing off the fuel a little bit. Although he's got a decent enough gap, I think, to maintain the lead and take the win. But got to keep an eye on that fuel as he goes into his last lap. Unforgiven in second. Oh, he's telling that AMG just to sip it. Just take little sips. Don't gulp it down. But he's definitely having to do a bit of fuel saving. Now then, Wadru senses he can get onto the podium at get onto P2. So I was just trying to work something out. Sorry, I just completely switched off. I was trying to work something out then. We're just going to stick with. I'm just going to stick with these until the end of the race, and I'm sorry to everybody else, but this is turned out to be really interesting. I think Unforgiven has had to switch the fuel map. And he's definitely short shifting, so he's definitely saving his fuel, because that is about out. He may even run out of fuel. He's hanging on to P2 at the minute. Wadru senses he can get that position away from Unforgiven. He is really pushing hard. The fuel light is on now, but he has got more than enough to make it to the end of this race. Unforgiven, oh, he's out. I think Unforgiven is out of fuel. Oh my God. As we come into Derg Curve, and Wadru is going to pip Unforgiven at the post. Well, we missed. Let's just go back. I do like to see the guys cross the line. Stormfly also just about out of fuel, but manages to make it around the final turn and across the line to take the victory. Well done to him, but this is where the race was, right on the line. Oh, Water just nicks it from Unforgiven, who ran out of fuel. Derg is going to come in fourth. He's the same, he's about out of fuel now. Then is Grasshopper going to make it? No, Derg finishing in fourth, Grasshopper in fifth. Then we've got Nath. Everybody's just about out of fuel, but Nath is going to come across the line in sixth. Willard is going to take seventh. Neil Farmack, he will take eighth. Scooby across the line in ninth. And then Matty Older again, well, he's slowed right down, hasn't he, at the minute, but he is going to take 10th. Oh no, he's not. Bennett has snuck through on the inside, so Bennett takes 10th. Matty Older takes 11th. Method will take 12th, with YT in 13th and Bindit finishing in 14th. What a fantastic finish to this race. Wow. Hope you can join me again for race 2, which will be coming up very, very shortly.